If you would like to get a better handle on your child's elementary progress reports, then please stay tuned. We have Suzanne Whaley with us from Instructional Services, and she has all the answers. Hello, Suzanne.
Hi, Tracy.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Sure.
So let's step back a little bit. In the fall of 2012, Fairfax County Public Schools introduced a new standards-based elementary progress report. What does standards-based mean?
Well, historically, teachers had a variety of grading systems in place, and that caused a lot of inconsistency and a lot of confusion about where children really are against the standards. So when the state of Virginia came out with the standards of learning, the county decided to align the progress report to match the standards of learning in the state of Virginia. So that it's pretty simple to say that we look at the progress toward those standards and report to parents, because the main idea or the main purpose behind the progress report is to communicate that achievement of those standards to parents.
And also, the new format has a lot of detailed information, and I think that many parents have already embraced it, but there certainly may be some that are still trying to get their heads around it a little bit. So it may be helpful then if we kind of walk through it a little and you can explain it some more to us.
Sure. So an older or more traditional report card would only assign one grade for a discipline. Science would have one letter grade, social studies would have one grade. But with a standards-based progress report, within a discipline, there are larger conceptual pieces or strands within that are very distinct and require different understandings. So for example, if we look at the history and social science strand, we see that there's understandings about how people and events of the past have influenced the present as one type of understanding, whereas reading maps and understanding the impact of geography is a different type of understanding. So there are standards that address each of those. If we only assigned one grade for that, we don't really tease out where the strengths are and where the needs are in achieving these standards.
Okay. And so also the grading scale is 4, 3, 2, 1. And I know I have a habit of trying to equate that with A, B, C, etc. Is it a mistake to do that?
They are not apples to apples. They're definitely apples and oranges, and it is a misconception. But what the 4, 3, 2, 1 does is it's really a demonstration of proficiency of the standards. So there are 4 things that teachers would be looking for, and that is the frequency of how well they are demonstrating understanding of that standard, the depth of understanding, and how much support they need in demonstrating that understanding, as well as how many errors they make in showing their understandings.
Okay. Another question that I had was in regards to the efforts grades. What sort of impact do the effort grades have?
So a standards-based progress report looks at the achievement in the academic field only and separates out other things like life work, citizenship, and effort grades. While effort definitely plays a part in achievement of standards, they are separated out because that doesn't really show how much or how well they've achieved the standard. So there are some things that teachers look at in thinking about the effort is participation in the discipline, perseverance with the tasks, quality of work, the neatness, as well as receptivity to feedback.
Okay. Another question that I had was regarding the F that's in the last column, and that stands for
the
final grade.
Final grade.
Okay, and so is that a cumulative grade?
No. So an example that a lot of people have understood, and the analogy that makes sense, is attaining your driver's license. So the DMV has decided for us what the standards are that we need to know and demonstrate to them to get a driver's license. We are compared against those standards, not against other people or other drivers. Once we achieve that driver's license, they don't take it back from us. So that's a similar thing where once students have shown us that they can explain how people and events of the past have influenced the present, that understanding follows forward with them. So the final grade would be the highest level of achievement that the child has maintained or attained in that discipline.
Okay. And just moving to the next page, one of the things that had stood out was with the teacher comments. Now, I believe I read somewhere that the teacher comments come from a pre-selected database of pre-approved comments. And I'm wondering, can teachers write their own thoughts in
So
there?
it's interesting because teachers are pretty much split 50-50 on their desire to write their own and the ones to come from the bank. The bank is written from a committee of teachers and administrators and instructional services people where they have been vetted and they definitely match the standards that are being taught. Some teachers like the ability to choose from those. Others do like to write their own, and they are definitely allowed to do that with principal approval.
Okay.
So additional comments can always be added as long as this is part of a principal or administration's agreement.
Okay, that's great to know. I think the only other thing that I was going to ask is if a parent is looking for additional guidance in understanding their child's progress report, where can they go, or who should they talk to?
The Fairfax County public website has a tab for parents, and on the right side down on the bottom there's a link that has everything we've talked about and more that says elementary progress report.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Suzanne.
Thank you.